Good afternoon, or almost afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the delay in getting started, but we have been behind the scenes working. We've got lots of great content to share with everybody today. So welcome to our September sales meeting. I'm going to jump right in because we have lots of stuff and we're already running a little bit late. As always, knowledge is not power, execution is power. So as we lean into some great tools today and talk about some different ways that you can go out and capture business for the end of the year, want to make sure you have a pen and paper available to take some notes or have your tablet open so that you can take some notes throughout today's program. So first, let's extend a welcome out to all of the agents that have joined over since the last sales meeting. We want to welcome Danny Martin in Chelmsford, Cindy Cleveland in Wallingford, Connecticut, Maxine Tolentino, Garrett Maley, Nicole Stewart, Jerome Stewart. And welcome to everybody joining. Over the next 30 days, this is the time of year when people make moves. So if you know anybody thinking about making a move in their career and considering offices, don't forget to send them over to Happy Agent. We would love to have a conversation with them. So welcome to all of our new Lions at LAER. Let's take a look at our August numbers. Then we're going to do an overview of highest performing agents in each of our markets. Then we're going to do a year-over-year overview so you can see where we stand as compared to this time last year. So 229 closings for the month of August at 123 million in sales volume. In addition to that, we had 34 rentals. Let's see how the numbers are stacking up. So our Mass offices did 164 sales at 96 million. Then Maine, 13 sales, 4.4 million. Connecticut, 17 sales, 7.1 million. New Hampshire, 16 sales, 7.2 million. And Florida, 19 sales at 7.5 million. Let's take a look at our top agents, or first our top offices. So this is something fairly new for us over the last few months. Thanks to Johnny Fallon for the suggestion. But each month we're going to not only rank our top agents, but also rank our top offices. So number one office by volume and by units across all of the LAER offices. Number one office was Leominster. So congratulations to our Leominster office making number one for units and volume. Awesome stuff. But for volume, we had Leominster, followed by Chelmsford, Goffstown, New Hampshire, Wallingford, Connecticut, Dracut, Mass, Tingsboro, Mass, Westford, Mass, Melrose, Mass, Athol, and then Northborough. As far as top agent or top offices by units, we had number one, Leominster, followed by Wallingford, Connecticut, our newest office, Athol, Goffstown, New Hampshire, Hollowell, Maine, Dracut, Mass, Chelmsford, Mass, Melrose, Mass, Northborough, Mass, and Port St. Lucie, Florida. Congratulations to our top offices. Let's take a look at top agents and top teams. So first, for Massachusetts top teams, congratulations to Page and Company, Kennard Residential, O'Connell and Company, Team Energy, and the Darshna and Robin team. Top five for August, individual agents by volume. Congratulations to Robin Magenheim, followed by Jimmy Tree Lee, Susan Tebow, Olivia Paris, and Martha Shelley. Top teams by number of units sold for Mass. Congratulations, Team Energy, followed by O'Connell and Company, Page and Company, Kennard Residential, and the Janet Cram team. And top five individuals by units sold. Congratulations, Olivia Paris, Corey Gracie, Jimmy Tree Lee, Marissa Tebow, and Brenda Albert. Top 5 for New Hampshire. This is both for volume and units. The Fulford Group, Platinum Realty Group, Ashley Gendro, Sarah Tollefson, and Janice Blydenberg. Well, now were those numbers the same? Hold on. We got 2 slides. One says, oh, this is top agents by volume. Now we have top agents for New Hampshire by units. Platinum Realty Group, Fulford Group, Ashley Gendro, Sarah Tollefson, Janice Blydenberg. Connecticut, top agents by volume. Laura Martin, Peter Onofrio, Roberta Whalen, Griselda Avila, and Antonetta Sorrentino. And top 5 for units sold for Connecticut. We have Laura Martin, Peter Onofrio, Roberta Whalen, Griselda Avila, and again, Tony Sorrentino. Congratulations. Top Maine agents. Top Maine agents by volume are Kristen Hughes, Julian Harwood, Chris Valley, Dylan Labrie, and April Simmons. Congratulations. And top Maine agents by unit sold. Julian Harwood, Kristen Hughes, John Bluen, Chris Valley, and Dylan Labrie. Let's take a look at our top Florida agents. So this is top Florida agents and teams by volume. Congratulations, Jeff Browning, Pedraza team, Isabel Caseta, Tanya McClendon, John Slavon, Mila Snyder, Janet Campbell, Dawn Forrester, Team Lambert Chacon, and Team Rebello. And top Florida agents and teams by unit sold. Congratulations, Pedraza team, Jeff Browning, Isabel Caseta, Tanya McClendon, John Slavon, Mila Snyder, Janet Campbell, Dawn Forrester, Team Lambert Chacon, and Team Rebello. So in addition to all of these top agents, and congratulations to all of you closing out the summer in a very strong way, we also put out a list of our top 25 company-wide by volume and company-wide by units. This email will go out this afternoon. So when you receive the email, check it out if you're on any of our lists, top 25 or top agents for your community. Make sure to share that, do a humble brag on social media. Our team creates all the pieces for you to do that. Let's take a look at our year over year. So August of this year, we closed 229 sides at 123 million. That is down from last year's sales. Last year, in August, we had closed 281 sides at 149 million. However, year over year, we're still up a little bit for volume and down a little bit for sides. So year to date, we're at 910 million in volume and 1,691 sides closed. So this will be the month that we hit the $1 billion mark. And I believe September was also the month we hit that last year as well. So 900 million this time last year at 1,763 sides. So we all will say it hasn't been the easiest year, but we are keeping pace. I think even better than most brokerages in the market. So actually, do we have David yet? We can come back to this in a minute. Some exciting announcements, but let's start with Craig first.
Stacy, David is here.
Oh, well, let's do Craig and then we'll come back to Sell Mom's House in a second. Start with Craig. Any updates in the sustainability front?
Yeah, absolutely, Stacy. Thanks. So the big one that's coming up here for the brokerage, and I'm also going to send this out to green designated agents as well because it's pretty exciting and kind of important here. On September 30th, as part of our LAER training from 12:30 to 1:30, Tuesday, September 30th. I'm going to be moderating a panel with 2 people from Pearl Certification, one of our partners that we've had with LAER for quite a while, since 2019. Casey Murphy and Nathan Gee from Pearl will be joining us. and talking about their new approach to scoring homes in terms of energy efficiency, resiliency, but more importantly, they're going to be giving us some insight into a new registry that they're creating, Stacy. The registry is going to be every home in the United States of America that is scored. Now that can be kind of controversial. It's going to be coming from public record data sets, but this stuff is going to be appearing before you know it on portals that consumers all use. So the realtors that attend this on September 30th will have the first opportunity for realtors in the nation to see what this score is, to see this mapping strategy that they have. It's consumer facing, how our realtors might be able to use this to improve business, to engage consumers. This is kind of a big deal, Stace, that we're putting together. And again, LAER Realty Partners is going to have a first look at all of this. So that's going to be September 30th, part of the LAER training that we always do every Tuesday from 12:30 to 1:30. I definitely hope we have a bunch of realtors checking this out, because again, we are going to be seeing this on real estate portals. Consumers are going to have access to this stuff. They're going to be asking questions about this. We want our realtors to be informed about how this works and how to use this tool to increase their business as well, Stay. So that's what we're doing.
Wow, awesome stuff. And many of our agents have been using the Pearl program for many years. Just in general, it offers a marketing approach to sustainable homes, how to make the invisible features of a sustainable home visible to people who are shopping for it. So I'm super excited. I do hope many of our agents attend. As Craig has mentioned in many of our boot camps and programs, this is the way the world is moving. Even if you look at Zillow now, they have all the climate information now as part of the listings on many of these consumer sites. So we're going to be first and in the forefront on some of these initiatives. So I'm excited about that. So thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Stacey.
All right, next up, one of the things that I'm very excited about is I've been working behind the scenes with our own David Dowd. Some of you guys know David. David has been in the real estate industry for a very long time, but he's got a super unique approach to how he has built a successful business. He is the owner of sellmomshouse.com. And he has basically built a empire for his real estate business. And now we're going to expose LAER agents to all of this. So why should real estate agents consider focusing on a senior citizen community? Well, first, it's a growing market. By 2030, all baby boomers will be over the age of 65, meaning 1 in every 5 Americans will be a senior citizen. Seniors control a large share of housing wealth, with many owning their homes outright and sitting on significant equity. Not only that, seniors have all kinds of real estate needs, from downsizing to relocating so they can be closer to their children, to transitioning to senior living, assisted living, or age-restricted communities, or selling inherited homes or family properties. So there's a great deal of value in specialized services for the aging community. And with that, I want to invite David on for a couple of minutes to talk about a little bit about the opportunity that we're going to be presenting and our first info session about this program. So welcome, David. Do you guys see him?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
All right, great. Well, thank you for having me today. Very pleased to be part of LAER Realty and having the opportunity to reach a group. Congratulations on reaching the $1 billion mark, by the way. I just
Thank
came
you.
on, so that was the first thing I heard. You're welcome. So let me be brief, but what I want to do is explain what Sell Mom's House is all about. And really what it is a turnkey set of marketing tools to access the senior market. And it's something that's already been proven over the last 10 years. I've been doing this. And basically it's a combination of face-to-face marketing with people in the field and event marketing, as well as prospecting and focusing on what I call the senior ecosystem. My background is channel marketing. Channels are a way to reach a customer set. And so when I joined real estate after years in the mortgage business, I focused on rehabs first, and then that led me to seniors who have older homes. So after investigating it, I found out that there's a huge support system for seniors. It's a great time to be a senior because of all the services that are available to them. And there are certain concentrations within that vast senior ecosystem. It's dispersed. And that's why I think nobody focuses on it, because they don't understand it. But there are focal points that make a difference, starting with senior centers, where I first started doing seminars called Downsizing and Selling from Daunting to Done. And downsizing is a bigger draw than just selling your house or hearing about real estate. So those were very well attended. And, they eventually led to listings. I think we can all agree that listings are where it's at. It's the most difficult thing, but the most important thing about really being a realtor, especially if you want to focus on listings versus buyers. It's nice to have what I call recurring referral sources. So the whole point of the program is to expose to LAER's agents what the ecosystem is all about, and then focusing on specifics within the ecosystem that lead to referrals. Because as I said, it's very dispersed. So just to mention a few of the most important ones, certainly senior centers are very important, and also what I call ALFs, which is assisted living, independent living, and memory care. Those are also very important. The reason that's important is because it is so dispersed. You can waste your time calling on everybody from estate attorneys, which are also a good source, to all kinds of people that service seniors, downsizers. There are people that do nothing but consult the families about Medicare and how to manage the aging process. So our strategy is to identify them early by calling on the points where they aggregate the most and doing seminars and live events that are generally in the assisted living places are also great because they have hot lists of people who have already joined or visited their place. They're looking for content, and they sponsor our seminars as well. But in addition to that, the dimension I'm most excited about is joining LAER, because Stacy's got the vision of doing mass mailings to all kinds of other verticals within the senior ecosystem. So in a nutshell, once you join, you get a turnkey program to be able to do live events, but also to talk to people about helping them achieve their goals with seniors. They don't care so much about our goals and giving us listings as they care about servicing their seniors. And so with these informational programs and other things that we'll be sending out, we accomplish that. And we focus on crisis points, because when someone has a slip and fall or something like that, that's when they have to sell the house. So it's a two-part program. You go out and you meet a lot of people, you tell them what we're doing, and all those people you meet are interested because we help them with their business. And also, don't forget that they own homes too. They buy and sell homes. They're looking for their kids, for their families. All those contacts can become referral sources for you. We load them up in a database. Stacy drips on them and sends out marketing programs. And that's just the beginning of the program. And then after those first few verticals, I'll be rolling out other content for other verticals, and you can select those that you feel comfortable working with. And let's not forget your own center of influence. Everyone knows seniors. And by introducing this focused approach, we help them not only, we help them with the downsizing process. What we tell them, our differentiating feature, and I'm almost done here, our um, what call, there's a phrase for it, I'm searching for it, but our unique selling proposition, USP, is that we help them manage the entire process. We help them find whatever they need. Help them light up a dumpster or a downsizing person to help them with the packing and so forth. We don't do any of that, but we manage it and we compress timelines and simplify the very complex task of moving. And so that's a differentiating feature that really people appreciate. And when we're on a listing appointment, our success rate is in the 80, 90% plus range. But unless they have a relationship with someone else, we differentiate our services and your services and layered services as being comprehensive and simplifying what we all know is a difficult task of dealing with a lifetime of possessions and getting the home ready for sale. And that's my summary.
All right, good stuff. So I'm super excited about the Sell Mom's House program because not only, in my opinion, there's no real estate brokerage that's focusing on this niche. So it is a very powerful niche. And one of the things that we teach through our AlgoWin program is to have multiple pillars of income for your business, that you have different areas that you're focusing on, from your past customers to maybe like a lead source, like a OpCity. But this is a really powerful lead source because really there's no brokerages focusing on the senior ecosystem. Not only that, it's purposeful work. Agents become part of a family's trusted circle at a very sensitive time, creating loyalty and long-term relationships. So if you're interested in positioning yourself as a community advocate, not just a salesperson, make sure you join us on September 16th, next week, from 12:30 to 1:30, where I'll be hosting David on a call, and he's going to talk about what this program looks like. It is for agents that are committed to showing up every month to do the work. Because this is a program about, it's not that you can just turn on a lead system and hope that business starts coming, which, by the way, those systems are never great because those are super expensive, like a Zillow program taking huge referral fees. No, this program is about, we're going to give you a blueprint for the work that you can do so that you can turn on lead funnels that will last you for your entire career. So super excited about this. Thank you, David. We will see everybody hopefully September 16th from 12:30 to 1:30 to learn more about this amazing program.
Thank you.
All
Stacey.
right,
Very
let's keep
excited.
going. Next up, we have, before we do some company updates, by the way, while I'm pulling this up, many of you guys probably don't realize, but we did a wonderful grand opening in our Wallingford, Connecticut office. So if anybody's ever out in the Wallingford, Connecticut area, you've got to stop by, check out our cafe style real estate office, our newest LAER office. It's beautiful. We have an amazing group of real estate agents out there, some great energy. And of course, they're already the second highest producing office at LAER. Very busy office out there. So come on out and check it out if you're in the area. Okay, I wanted to do just a little presentation today to give you guys some food for thought as you are planning out the final leg of 2025, thinking about how you're going to go conquer the real estate business for the coming months. And so we cover this in the AlgoWin program as well, but I wanted to simplify the blueprint even more. The blueprint we're going to talk about for the next 5 to 10 minutes is how to build your sphere of influence with vendors. So over the last several weeks, we've had several agents join the brokerage who are younger. And sometimes when you're young, and by the way, this could be any age, but people come to us and say, okay, how do I build my sphere of influence if I am newer to the business? Maybe I'm newer to the market, like Schneider, who we just talked to today in our Dracut office, just moved to Massachusetts from Florida. Very limited sphere of influence here. Or if you're younger, you're in your 20s, you just got into real estate, you don't have a massive sphere of influence. How do you build one quickly so that you can sustain your business? Now, some people will say, go out and buy leads. Well, we all know to buy Zillow leads or to buy any of those types of lead platforms, first of all, super expensive. It's going to cost you about 40% of your earned dollar to close on Zillow transactions. That's super expensive, but there's even a bigger cost when you're focusing on these cold lead platforms. Not only is there an expense to the vendor that you pay for the cold lead, but the additional expense is the amount of time and energy you put into building rapport on cold business, when you could be putting that same type of energy into building a massive, very warm referral network that isn't going to cost you 40% of your earned dollar to get business. And the fastest way to do that is with vendors. So we're going to talk quickly about how a weekly vendor spotlight works. Learn step-by-step process, how exactly to do this. It is so simple. It is the fastest way to build your sphere of influence, to build your pot of gold, the people that refer you business every month. And we're going to discover the benefits, especially how exactly this grows your sphere. So if you are an agent that currently has less than 200 people in your CRM, then you need to participate in this. And that is building a vendor network. And all it is, it's about light, ongoing outreach to build relationships in your community. And you do so by tapping into business owner networks. It provides, not only do you get to start building relationships with people who don't even know you yet, in many instances, but it also simultaneously provides you really good content for your social media, your blog, etc. So instead of constantly bombarding the people who follow you with information about real estate, because most people who follow you on a daily basis are not buying a house in the next 5 years, but if that's the only content you're putting out there, that can get boring to people, so they stop watching. So what other content could you be putting out to the world that would keep people interested in following you? Well, you can just talk about what's happening in the community, the people in your community, which is the business owners. So when we talk about building a vendor network, what does that mean? All it means is imagine what your business is going to look like 1 year from now if every week for the next 52 weeks, you reach out to one vendor in your network. And by vendor, I mean, it could be a vendor that you work with in real estate, maybe like stagers and mortgage people, but also it really doesn't have to have anything to do with our business. It could be landscaping professionals. It could be the guy that owns the pizza place down the street. It could be the dog groomer, the veterinarian, the dentist in your market, all the people that you talk to often regularly, just doing business around town, the local bank. You're going to reach out to one a week and you're going to spotlight them. So let's talk about what this whole process means and looks like. So number one, you're going to select one vendor a week. Again, not necessarily real estate related. It can be real estate related, but it's really not necessary. You're going to reach out, maybe the guy that owns the local pizza shop or the local dog groomer, your dentist, a local contractor. just pick one business person each week. You don't have to be connected to them. However, look into your past closings first, because within your network of people who've already utilized you, there are people who own businesses. So a great place to start is just in your network of people, because you probably have business owners there. Step 2, you're going to plan your approach. Reach out professionally, request to meet and learn about their business. Can you do it by phone? You could, but it doesn't have the same impact. We live in a world that is losing belly-to-belly communication. If you want to stick in somebody's memory, go meet them in person. It doesn't have to be a long conversation, but you reach out professionally by email or by phone, introduce yourself, and just say, I'm reaching out because I work in the local real estate market, working with buyers and sellers in this community, and I like to share some of the best places for people to visit for food, or best places for people to get their dog groomed. Could I come out and meet you? Quick 10-minute meeting just to get to know you and ask you some questions so that I can make you part of my vendor network. Now, when you go to the meeting, by the way, what are you going to bring with you? Always leave something that you can leave behind, because the way people think, you can tell them you're in real estate, but sometimes stuff doesn't sink in right away. So you're going to bring a package about you. It's going to have your resume, a LAER brochure, maybe a ROAR report, like the newsletter, and a business card. Bring some package so that they can review it later when they are relaxing. Step 3, you're going to interview them. This meeting can be super short. How long have you been in the business? These are all that you need to know is right here. This is your entire interview. How long have you been a pet groomer? Why did you choose this business? What makes you different than other dog groomers? What's the best way for interested parties to learn more about your dog grooming business? And how should new customers reach out to you? There's your interview. We're talking 10 minutes, but again, belly to belly is the best way to do it. Now, step 4, you're going to create content with this. So this is going to make you super memorable to the sphere of people who are that are following you, because you're not posting what all the other real estate agents are posting, which is just information about real estate. No, you're becoming the community expert. So after you have finished your interview, you're going to begin creating content. So write a social media post about the vendor. And if you have a website, this is a great place to have your business spotlight. And you're just going to write a short blog and detail the answers to the questions that you had during the interview. Now, step 5, we're going to engage a couple of our LAER tools that you already have access to. Number 1, the ROAR report. Our team writes a newsletter for you to distribute to your customers once a month. It's called the ROAR report. It's available at LAER Agent Services right under the marketing section. You'll see a button for the ROAR report. You get a new one every month. It's a 4-page printed newsletter. So first tool, just go take your interview that you've done with this dog groomer, for example, and go add that interview right to your ROAR report on the front page. Now you have something really nice that you can go deliver back to the dog groomer and say, it was really nice meeting you. I want to let you know that I featured you in my ROAR report, and I've brought 30 copies of them in case you would like to leave them for your customers to show that you were featured in my ROAR report. That makes you memorable. Are other real estate agents doing this? Probably not. The other tool you want to engage is your trusted vendor list. So not only are you going to feature the person in the newsletter, but it's an opportunity for you to start creating a list of people who you feel comfortable referring to. So you're going to go to LAER Agent Services. We have this Canva template there for you. and start building your list of trusted vendors, because this is something that's going to go into all your buyer packages, your seller packages. And of course, you're going to let the vendor know that, hey, one of the things that I do is I'm going to expose you to my community on social media. I'm also going to expose you to my community through the Roar Report newsletter. And of course, I'm going to include you as one of my trusted vendors. So every time a buyer or seller gets a package, you're going to be featured in the package as one of my trusted vendors. This makes you unforgettable. And then step 6, the final step, is you're going to make sure that the vendor that you interview is in your CRM. So whether you're using Fellow or Isact, it does not matter, but you need a system in place so that you're staying in touch even when you forget to stay in touch. So go put that person's name, information into your CRM so that they're hearing from you at least once a week. If you're with Fellow, they're going to hear from you every 2 weeks. So that's your keep in touch campaign. This is it. That's the entire program. Simple. You're going to select someone, you're going to approach them, interview them, turn the interview into content, utilize your tools, the Roar Report, and the trusted vendor list. And then last, you're going to add them to your CRM. That is the workflow. Imagine what your business will look like 1 year from now if you do this simple workflow once a week. By the way, if you've gone through our AlgoWin program, this is nothing new for you. So what are the benefits? Well, first of all, this is super simple. I mean, this whole process can take 1 hour, and that includes going and meeting the person, 1 hour a week. So regular outreach that feels super manageable. It's not chunking up a huge piece of your schedule. It provides valuable, authentic content for your marketing. That means it's super valuable for all the people who follow you on Facebook and Instagram, and it builds credibility. So people look at you, you're not just a real estate agent, you are a expert on the local community. But let's also step into the shoes of the vendor for a minute, because this is truly where the magic happens. It is win-win. So the vendor, from their point of view, gets free exposure across your platforms. They get a professional endorsement from somebody who's well known, a community expert, which is you. And for them, for the dog groomer, for the veterinarian, for the pizza place, it projects a relationship of trust and mutual support. It shows that other people in the community trust them and refer them business. What's really cool about this approach is that it has been said that the average person has about 144 friends, roughly, or acquaintances, we should say, in general, like 140 people that they could name as somebody that they know in town, things like that. But that is like doubled and tripled for business owners. Not only that, vendors, people who own businesses, think like you because you own a business. They want to be networking. They want to have people that support them. So of course they're going to always say yes, but they have massive networks. So you are now getting the ability to begin unlocking their sphere of influence. So the first step of doing that is going out and meeting them so that they feel comfortable. 2, helping them. So you're not asking for anything. You're just saying, I want to expose you. And then 3, staying in touch. So 82% of real estate transactions come from people who know, like, and trust you. So this is where you get the opportunity to create a system for creating people in your neighborhood that know, like, and trust you. It's the #1 way to amplify reach. It builds a mutual referral relationship, and those mutual referrals grow networks exponentially. So what are the best practices? Be genuine. So it's not about high pressure selling. It's not about, hey, don't forget I'm a real estate agent. all of that will come natural. That's why I bring a package and leave it for the person so they know you're in real estate. Put them in your CRM so they know you're in real estate. But beyond that, you don't have to be obnoxious, just be genuine. Focus on learning about them, not selling. Keep interviews short and conversational. Share the spotlight with quality visuals and quotes. So take some photos while you're there. And most important of all, the number one way to make this work is to be consistent. That means do it, start today. Do it every day for the next 52 weeks. Make it part of your routine on a weekly basis. Don't give up in 3 weeks because you haven't gotten a referral. No, it takes a little bit of time for this to work, but I promise you it is the number one fastest way to build a massive sphere of influence. So create your timeline. So each week you could just have a nice simple system for making sure this happens on a weekly basis, and then track your success so that you know like what system works best for you and which vendors are resulting in leads for you. So that is it on how to build your network. What is the goal? Start today. So with that, I want to go back. We have about 10 minutes left and reshare our company updates. All right, back to company updates, right where we left off a few minutes ago. Okay, as I mentioned, we had a wonderful grand opening in Wallingford. By the way, to all of our Wallingford agents, if you want to download any of the photos from our event. So we had a soft grand opening, which was just our agents about 2 weeks ago. And then last week we did a community grand opening. The space is super cool. It's a cafe style office in downtown Wallingford. But if you guys want to go download any of the photos, they're available at laerrealty.com/photo album. That is our photo album for all of our LAER family events. You can go check out those photos. And then Barry, you want to take over? Are these all our classes?
Yep, these are all our classes.
All right, I'll let you take over.
Okay, sounds good. Also, that Wallingford office looks absolutely amazing. I wish I could see it in person.
So that's Pat Harriman. Pat Harriman from the beginning. And Pat Harriman was the owner of Harriman Real Estate, who sold her business to us. And from the beginning, she's like, I have this concept for a cafe style real estate office. And she made it come to life. So it's all on her.
That's absolutely, absolutely amazing. As you guys know, Mondays at 10:30 to 10:50 a.m. we have Quantum Sparks. If you have not joined us for this 20-minute micro class, I have to say you are truly missing out. I am not an agent myself, but I am on this class every Monday, and it truly, truly inspires the rest of my week. Stacy, thank you for that. And we can move on to the next one too. All right, so September is a big month for us. Do you know why? It is the end of quarter 3. We are moving into quarter 4. It is our last opportunity at the end of the year to really get in gear and close the year out right. With that in mind, we've really invested time and energy in creating classes that are going to have an impact, an immediate impact on your business. With that said, we are introducing Check Request Class with Lisa Peruccio. We want you to get paid as fast as possible. We truly do from the bottom of our hearts. With that in mind, we want to make sure that you know the process to submit check requests properly. This is going to be a focus on New England and Florida. She's going to split the session in 2 30-minute sessions for both sections of LAER, so definitely join us for that. Next up, we have my baby that I have invested my life and soul into. We are introducing Contracts 101 for each and every state in LAER, rotating each state monthly. We are starting out with Florida with the amazing John Slavon. He's a past board president, which is amazing. He's a little bit of a celebrity. He's going to be doing Contracts 101 line by line this Friday, which is 2 days from now, 10 to 11:30. If you are licensed here in Florida, even if you're a dual state agent, definitely join us. Thank you.
Yes, I want to make a plug for that for our Massachusetts agents that do business in Florida. This is a much, like, you got to see this because Florida rules are very different than Massachusetts. The type of agency that we practice in Florida is different than we practice in New England. So oftentimes, because we have lots of dual agents within New England, for example, Massachusetts and New Hampshire, you think, oh, it's just the forms look a little different. No, Florida's a different animal. So if you're a New England agent practicing in Florida, 100% you need to take this. And I think it's also going to be wonderful for our Florida agents because the forms are all different since last year. So it's a great opportunity to dig in and make sure that you understand the Florida forms properly. So that's going to be awesome. Thank you, Farah.
Absolutely. And of course, we talked a little bit about Sell Mom's House. This is going to be an informational meeting. I do want to mention that. So you get to hear a little bit more and a little bit more in depth from David Dowd regarding this program and how awesome it's going to be, encouraging you to join future sessions. So don't miss this. And then we are having I really like this slide. We are having buyer mastermind with Catherine Meisenheimer. For those of you who do not know, Catherine Meisenheimer has built her entire business on buyers, predominantly buyers, which seems to be, regrettably for many realtors, like a bad word. We want to tend to focus on listings, but that's not a real thing. That's a myth. You can make a business out of buyers. She's a genius. She's doing this class. She's very invested. Again, don't miss it. I'm going to say that for every class here. Don't miss it. And the main event, we are actually changing this up shortly. We will be updating you, but we will be having a main event on Wednesday, September 24th. Something came up for Deb Forgione. Regrettably, she'll be joining us either next month or November, but we're going to have an equally amazing agent doing the main event at the end of the month. So don't miss that as well.
And I think every agent should do these monthly. Like you can even just listen while you're driving, but each month Farah features, and this is a short class. These are 30 minutes where you get to hear from people that are doing a massive amount of business. And each month she selects somebody who has like an interesting niche. So for example, Deb does a lot of new construction. Catherine Meisenheimer, the way that the buyer agency class came about is from a main event. So getting to see like how are these agents doing extremely well in a changing real estate landscape. So these are no-brainers. Hop on the main event. And by the way, if you haven't watched them, you can go watch all the reruns on YouTube. There's about 10 of them there so far. So go check out this class.
Absolutely. One more thing I will mention about the main event. I think a lot of the time, some of the resistance to joining, especially for more tenured agents, is because you're tenured. You know what you're doing, and we know that you know what you're doing. But hearing the different perspective from another agent who's doing what you do completely differently is a true eye-opener. So definitely try to make it. Again, it's 30 minutes. It's a lot of fun. I learn something every single time. Again, don't miss it. I can't stop saying that. A look ahead for October. Monday, October 13th is Columbus Day. LAER offices are closed. October, we will also be having situational awareness. I know Realtor Safety Month was in September. We were able to squeeze this in for October. This is going to be amazing. John Cross is a leader of a tactical company, and he'll be able to talk about situational awareness for realtors because we want you to be safe. We want you to make money, but we want you to do it in a very safe way. And then, of course, Contracts 101, which we will be featuring every single month for a different state, is going to be Massachusetts, led by the amazing Len Lockery.
All right. All right, as always, I don't know if we have anybody from coast to coast on. Nope. Well, coast to coast, thanks to everybody at LAER for your support of coast to coast closings. Our coast to coast closings biggest closing month ever was August of 2025 with over 50 closings for the month. So thank you to everybody for your support and all kinds of good things happening at coast to coast. David, do you want to give us an update on anything happening at coast to coast? Nope, you're on mute. All right, I think I scared him off. Anyways, lots of good stuff happening at coast to coast closings. Let's see if he unmutes.
All right.
There he is. David, any updates for coast to coast?
Other than the fact that it was a great summer, and I know the
Yes.
fall was going to be even better. We've got good staff behind us. We've been reorganizing some systems to make it even more effective to what we do. And anybody has any questions at all, reach out, please, to me or Nicole. Anything at all, even if it's transactions that we're not involved in, we're more than happy to talk and give advice and things like that. So anything you need, please do not hesitate to reach out.
100%. The best closing team in New England and Florida. So thanks,
Barn-
David.
You got it.
As always, if you guys are looking for some great marketing pieces as well for an open house, you can go to ctcclosings.com/a locals guide, and coast to coast closings, like whatever town it is in whatever state, you can fill this out for a locals guide and they'll give you a beautiful marketing piece to bring to your open house. As always, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube station. By subscribing to our YouTube station at youtube.com/LAER training, you'll never miss a training event because YouTube, every time we do a class, we upload it to YouTube. You'll get a little notification on your phone that a new class has been added. So it's the #1 way to make sure you never miss a class. And don't forget, you can visit any of our LAER offices at laerrealty.com/office access. If you want after hours access to any of our LAER locations, you can get it right here. The system, you put in your name and your LAER email address, and the system will email you all the information to get in after hours. And with that, we want to thank everyone for another wonderful month. Our next sales meeting will be on October 8th, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Thanks, everyone.